Welcome to the Barrel Room. We are at Forty Creek Distillery, and boy, do we ever have some whiskey on our hands, Bill.
We do.
Master Blender Bill. What do you make? What do you blend, Bill?
So I'm in charge of all the blends here at Forty Creek.
Yeah.
Keeping the current blends consistent and coming up with all the new blends.
Wow, so it's all on you. That's some pressure.
It is, but it's also a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the blending process.
So in the making of Canadian whiskey, we blend various whiskeys of different ages together to come up with something that is greater than the sum of the parts.
Okay.
So the idea is, much like you would in cooking, to take different flavors and things and put them together to come up with the ultimate dish. In this case, it's the ultimate whiskey.
Amazing. Okay, so this room is spectacular. The smell in here is something I've never experienced before in my life.
Yeah, well, what you're smelling is actually what we call the angel share. So it's the evaporation of whiskey out of the barrels. There's almost 19,000 barrels in this room.
Filled with whiskey.
Filled with whiskey.
Wow.
Of varying ages, from 1989 barrels to fresh filled barrels.
That's the oldest, 1989.
Yeah, and they're all off-gassing alcohol.
Wow.
And that's what you smell.
That's why I'm feeling a little tipsy, right?
It could be.
Okay, what is this one here that we're gonna try?
So the one we're gonna try is our latest limited release. We do an annual release every year. This is the 17th annual release. It's Cherrywood. And it's a 5-year-old pot distilled whiskey with a little hint of brandy added to it, and then steeped in cherrywood staves. So we've combined all of the good things in whiskey, plus introduced a lot of flavors from the Niagara area.
Oh, interesting. I like that. Now, will this be served at your Whisky Weekend coming up?
It definitely will.
Okay.
There'll also be bottle signings at it.
Amazing.
There will be free tastings, live music, just an all-round good time.
Okay, and the Whisky Weekend is coming up next weekend, the 22nd, 23rd, or
23rd and 24th.
23rd, 24th. Okay, this is not something you're going to want to miss. Forty Creek Distillery. Cheers, Bill.
Cheers.
Cheers. Lots more coming up on Morning Live. Welcome back to Forty Creek Niagara Whiskey, the distillery. That is where we are located. I am here with Bill, and Bill's going to tell us a little bit about the history. The conception, maybe perception, is that people think you're a relatively new company.
They
but
do.
You're not. You've been around for a long time.
We have. In fact, this building was constructed in 1971 by a gentleman named Mr. Otto Reeder.
Who we saw.
Who started it as Reeder Distillery.
Okay.
And in this hallway, we actually have a bunch of artifacts that are essentially a self-guided tour of the history of the company.
Okay.
Starting with Mr. Reeder, going through the John Hall, Kittling Ridge days. And
You've been here through it all, haven't you,
I
Bill?
have.
That's awesome.
And when we get to this end, we're going to end with a picture that I'm not really that proud of, because it's me when I started here. And I don't look the same as I did.
Nobody does, Bill.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
So we've got some of the medals that we've won over the years, some of the older implements that were used in manufacturing, including the original Reeder Distillery seal. We move on to more awards, including Whiskey Icons of Canada.
That's
of
cool.
The John Hall.
Yeah.
And we even have a congratulatory on getting a license to open a distillery store. Up until 1994, distilleries could not sell their products on site.
Oh, they could only sell them at the LCBO.
They could only sell at the LCBO. John Hall lobbied the government and managed to get licenses for all distillery stores. So we can take credit for the burgeoning micro distillery movement, because
Very cool.
they couldn't exist without that.
That's neat.
Yeah.
What's on this wall?
On this wall, we have a history of the fruit industry in Grimsby, specifically. A lot of people don't realize that fruits juices, etc., were all canned in the Grimsby, Winona area.
No, I didn't know that either.
It's a lost industry.
From the
to Canada.
1860s to the 1920s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even things like basket factories existed.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so self-guided tour. If you come to the distillery, you can learn all about this, get a good look at some of the artifacts that they have here. And Bill, we had to end on you. This is the picture that Bill was not so keen to show, but I think you look great, Bill. Fruits of Niagara.
Just a few years ago.
Just a smidgen. Welcome back. I am now being joined by Chris, who is the National Brand Ambassador. Fun job, big job. You must love it.
I do. It's the greatest job in the company. I tell people that all the time.
Yeah. It's so much fun to be here in the distillery today, learning so much about 40 Creek whiskey. I didn't know it came in so many different flavors.
Well, listen, there's a whole shelf to choose from.
That's incredible.
Yeah, people know us for maybe 1 or 2 expressions, but at any given time, we probably have 7 different whiskey expressions on the shelf.
How many do you think this company's made in total?
Oh my goodness.
Like ballpark.
I think it's 27 or 28.
Wow,
Yeah.
and Bill has masterly blended them all.
All of them. Every
Wow.
drop of liquid that's ever come out of this building, it's all Bill Ashburn.
So Bill really is 40 Creek.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got here?
We have three of my favorites, quite frankly. I'm
Good for you.
only pouring you the good stuff.
Good for you.
We're going to start off with 40 Creek Barrel Select. This is our signature whiskey. It originally came out in January of 2000. This is the one that everybody knows about.
what you're known
40 Creek.
for.
This is the
Okay.
one.
Okay.
And I love that. I mean, just recently, it won a gold medal at the San Francisco Spirits Awards. This is literally a 20-plus-year-old recipe that still holds up, still captures the attention of judges and critics all over the world.
What kind of notes am I looking for in here?
You're looking for hints of vanilla, caramel, little apricot, and my favorite little part of this whiskey is these nice little burnt toasty notes.
The burnt toasty
Little
notes.
burnt, and some burnt toast is a big thing in my house, so I'm very familiar with it. But it shows up in these whiskeys, and I absolutely love it. And smooth.
I was just about to say, it's very smooth. For someone who never drinks whiskey,
Yeah.
that's an easy drink.
40 Creek makes some of the smoothest whiskeys in any category, period.
Yeah. Okay, what's next?
Next up is, it's kind of this is really the 40 Creek showpiece. It's called 40 Creek Confederation Oak Reserve.
Ooh.
Canadian whiskey finished in Canadian white oak. I describe it as being soft and elegant and pretty. Words you would never use for whiskey.
Oh, but they matched. Even just the smell of it, it smells elegant.
Pure elegance in a glass.
Smells bougie, as I would say. It does, all right.
And the flavors on this one are really surprising.
Ooh,
Marzipan,
yeah.
toffees, nice little vanilla notes in there.
I was just about to say caramel, but that was the last one.
That's
you
all
just
right.
left
There's
over.
little hints of caramel in all of them,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
bet.
good.
Now this one here looks like it's right up my alley.
This is.
It's creamy.
It's creamy. Brand new. 40 Creek Butter Tart Cream.
Anything with butter tart in
I know,
the
right?
title is made for me.
It's fantastic. So we've done 3 cream liqueurs. We've done an original cream. We did an Nanaimo bar cream, and now butter tart cream. This one's by far my favorite.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
It's terrible, right?
oh my goodness, that is awful. That's the worst thing I've ever had. I have
That
to
is-
take another sip now.
That is spectacular stuff.
Okay, now will people be able to see these on the Whisky Weekend?
Absolutely. We'll be hanging out all weekend long, doing tastings just like this for as many people who want to come and join us on the weekend. It's going to be great.
Amazing. Well, coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about the Whisky Weekend. We're going to head out onto the patio here at 40 Creek. It's been a good day so far.
So far, so good, right?
So good. Lots more coming up on Morning Live. Well, we've made our way outside to the beautiful patio here at 40 Creek Distillery. Chris joining me. We've got a big weekend coming up, Whisky Weekend, the 23rd, 24th. Tell me what's happening.
It's my favorite time of year. I look forward to this weekend every year.
Okay.
Thousands of 40 Creek fans descend upon our little distillery here in Grimsby and celebrate all things 40 Creek. So free tours throughout the day. It's the only time of year when we open up the barrel cellar to the public.
And
so
you want to see that.
Yeah.
You have to see it, the smell of it. Just come for the smell,
Yeah.
because it's incredible.
we do tastings all day long. So if you want to come, and try something new or revisit some of your old favorites, which is great, We've got a cocktail bar. We have some seminars that go on as well.
Okay.
Those are sold out already, but
Okay. No, for next year?
For next year, keep it in mind. And some great bands in the parking lot. The Tone Wheels are here on Sunday, and Marshall Dane here on Saturday, and DJ Tanner here on Saturday evening. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah, it's great. Full jam-packed food truck in the parking lot. Just come out, hang out, enjoy all things 40 Creek, and chill out with us for the weekend.
Okay, Whiskey Maker of the Decade. That's a pretty big statement.
It's that one kind of caught us off guard a little bit. A couple years ago at the Canadian Whiskey Awards in Victoria, BC, we were bestowed Whiskey Maker of the Decade by the Canadian Whiskey Awards, celebrating a decade of whiskey making excellence here in Canada.
That is so huge.
There's no greater accolade, I think, from and I just think it's a great
world here.
I think it's a great testament to all of Bill's hard work and all of our predecessors. There's been a lot of energy that went into this place, and I'm glad that that award, I think, really says it all.
Now, what do you think it is that 40 Creek does differently that kind of sets you apart from everybody else?
I've never seen more passion around a consumer product in my entire life. People that work here love the fact that they work for 40 Creek. It's really all about our people. They're the biggest part of what we do, from our sales team and our marketing team to all the great people here on supply chain. They're all part of this process that makes we make something that really resonates with people. You'll see it on the weekend.
Well, it's a big name.
It's an important part of their life. It really is.
It's a big name, and you got to come and check it out. They've got a beautiful history wall where you can get the decades worth of information from that history wall. They've got some beautiful articles and some artifacts that you can check out. Come get a tasting the weekend of the 23rd, 24th.
Yep.
Whiskey Weekend.
Sip some Cherrywood for the first time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
And the butter tart one.
And
drink the butter tart one just for me.
We know Emily's favorite already.
Well, thanks for having us. We had a good
This is
time
great.
here today.
Love having you.
Lots more coming up on Morning Live.